So I've been seeing for months now people creating their personal curriculum, and I've seen people do it for different seasons, like for fall and winter, and now it's almost spring. And I've always thought that that concept was super cool because I feel like it's something that I've done for myself without calling it that. So I've been seeing it a lot in the last year. I feel like it's gotten popular. I wanted to try it, but I've been in school for 6 years straight. I've been in college for 6 years with no semesters off except for the occasional summer. So I didn't really feel like I could actually do that because I had actual curriculum to do that would take precedent. So I was like, maybe when I'm done with college, I'll try that. However, I'm no longer in college as of this semester. It was a difficult decision and a little bit unexpected, but I decided to drop my classes for this semester. A lot of reasons, which I could go into in another video, but not right now. But the important thing for right now is that I'm no longer in school. So now I feel like it's something I could actually do. So I'm going to be figuring out what my personal curriculum for spring is going to be. And this is my first time doing it, so we'll see how it goes, and I might change it up for if I do it again. So I'm going to be planning my spring curriculum, which is going to be from, I'm thinking like March to May. So only 3 months. And then maybe I'll do a summer one. We'll see. So I haven't really planned any of it out. I was gonna do that with you all so you can see the process that I'm doing. So I have a notebook. And the other day I was just writing down like all of the things that I like to do, hobbies that are interesting to me, all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot of different things I could do with this. And I have a couple ideas that I think I'm gonna do for this semester. I think this is a great way for somebody like me. I have a lot of interests, a lot of things that I want to spend time doing, but it's just unrealistic to do all the things I want to do at the same time. And then I just kind of get decision paralysis and do nothing, go on my phone, open the same apps over and over again for no reason. So I think this would be a good way for me to organize things so that when I do have time, like, this is what I can do. But I also don't want it to feel restrictive in that if there's something else I want to do, I can do that, So I don't know. We're gonna see how this works. I really would love to be fluent in another language. I've taken Italian and French classes while I was in college, and I learned a lot, but I feel like you have to keep up with it, otherwise it just all goes away. So I would like to dive back into that, specifically French. I really love that language and I would love to be able to speak it. I don't really know how it's going to benefit me, but learning a language is beneficial, I think. So I'm going to call it French 201 because I know some of the basics. I've taken a couple of classes in it. So I have some books and things. I'm going to have to decide what it's actually going to look like how I'm going to study it. But that's one of my ideas. And then this one, I don't know if I really shared about this, but I have PCOS, and I think that it would be good for me to learn more about that because, not that I don't take it seriously, but I just don't, I haven't really been consistently trying to treat it. And so I think that would be good for me to learn more about. I got this book from the library. That could definitely be a part of it, a part of my curriculum. So that's one option as well. A study in PCOS, perhaps. And then since I haven't been in school anymore, I've been getting back into watercolor painting. I'm not very good at it. It's just for fun. I think it's really beautiful and I would love to get better at it and actually learn the techniques there. I have several books on it. It would be super easy to make a curriculum based on those books, and I have most of the tools I need already, so I wouldn't really need to buy anything. So I think I would like to work on that as well. So maybe I will call that Watercolor Basics, and I have this book that maybe I could try to get through the whole book as part of the curriculum. What else? There's so many things, and I have to remember that this is just a little 3-month thing, and it can be anything I want it to be, and I can try something else next time. I don't know. I just have a difficult time making decisions. In my last video was my top 5s of 2025, and I talked about sewing in that one. And that one is a new hobby for me, but one that I would love to get better at and actually know what I'm doing. So I think that would be a good one. And then I think 4 is plenty. It might even be too much, So I think I have my 4 courses that I'm gonna try, and we'll see how it works out. If 4 is too many or if it's not enough, then we can try something different next time. So my spring curriculum is going to include French 201, a study in PCOS and cycle syncing, watercolor basics, and sewing 101. So fun. So much more fun than actually going to school. Truly. So I have my courses, and now I need to decide what that's going to actually look like and how I'm going to study these things. So I think I should set some kind of a goal or like a final project for each one so that I can build like what I need to do to get to that point. So let's see, what would that look like for these? I'm gonna look up what other people have done, if there's been any similar courses to mine, to get some ideas. One of my favorite creators right now, she does podcasts and YouTube videos, and she also posts on like Instagram and TikTok. Her name's Vic in the Meadow, and she's been doing this since like last fall, I think. And so I've been loving her content about that. Okay, so I want to put it in something pretty on Canva like people do. So I'm gonna probably do that, but I wrote down some ideas for each of my topics and things that could be projects. Some of them, I'm not sure yet if there will be a project or if it's just gonna... Okay, so for French, I have a couple of books I'm going to use. I have this vocab book and a grammar book that I will try to do some exercises out of. And then doing some TikTok research, I found some YouTube channel recommendations and podcast recommendations, so I will try and do those as well as some app recommendations, not Duolingo, some other app recommendations. So I want to organize that a little bit better so I know what it's gonna look like. But those are my ideas for French so far. For my PCOS and cycle syncing course, I'm going to read the rest of this book and then develop a plan and a routine that works for me and my life, and track my own cycle during this semester. Will be a part of that as well. For watercolor basics, I've been working on this book, Watercolor Botanicals, and it has like a 30-day, like there's a project each day. It takes me more than a day for most of the, I need to do it a couple times for it to get better. So I think I could use that over the course of the next 3 months. But I would like to try and complete that book in these 3 months as a part of my course. And then I have this let me get it actually, this beautiful watercolor journal that I purchased years ago, and I've just been too terrified to even do anything in it because it's really pretty and I don't want to mess it up, you know? So I would like to, by the end of this course, be able to start using that. So that's what I have for watercolor basics so far. And then for sewing, I'm going to watch Sydney Graham. She makes like sewing YouTube videos and TikToks, and I really like everything that she makes. She created a YouTube series that's 6 episodes long about learning how to sew. So I think I'd like to watch that to start with, and then she has some projects within that series, I think, and then from there, I don't know, it's just sewing is so intimidating to me because you have to spend the money. Like I have to go out and pick material. I don't know, it's just intimidating to me, but I'd like to get over that and just try things and learn how to get better at it, because I can't get better at it if I never practice. I've been sewing on my little sewing machine that I got from Aldi for $40, which has been great. I've been able to make several things with that, but my grandmother-in-law gifted me a sewing machine that she had that was for my sister-in-law when she was younger, but she doesn't use it anymore, so she gave it to me, and I would like to learn how to use that one now. And I think for my final project for that one, I would like to sew a skirt, but I don't know, I might end up doing more than that within it. You know, I don't know if that'll be enough. So that's what I have so far. I'm going to work on developing, writing this out and making it a little bit more organized. But that is what I have so far. Okay, I'm going to use this personal curriculum template from Meredith Wheeler on TikTok, and I'll show you how it looks when I finish it. Okay, I didn't really end up making a full course outline, just like a syllabus of sorts for each of them. So let me show you. The first one I have is for French, and I wrote up my course objectives, the main focus, media, my goals, and something I'm excited to learn about was what was on this template. So I did the same for each of them, and I'll show you all of them. But basically it's what I already told you about each one, but just a little bit more specific so I can review it and look at the media that I wanted to consume. And for that, I have the different apps I'm going to use, the books I want to read, any YouTube channels that I want to visit.
So yeah, that's everything I had for French. Next, I have my curriculum for watercolor basics and wrote out the same types of things here, like what I wanted to focus on and what I wanted to get out of the end of the course and the media that I had talked about earlier. For that one, the book and also just, YouTube and Pinterest. And next up is Intro to Sewing, which I want to focus on learning how to sew clothing. And so I wrote out what I wanted to do with that one as well, and then that YouTube series that I talked about. And also I think it would be cool to look at the library and see what kind of patterns and magazines for sewing they might have there, because I feel like they would definitely have some resources for that. So that's what I had for sewing. And lastly, my course on PCOS and cycle syncing. So same things I talked about before that I wrote out here. My main media item is my book that I have from the library, and then I thought I could also look into some YouTube videos and find some, I don't know, people who know what they're talking about to do some more research on that.
Okay, it's a completely different day. I don't know how many days it's been, but I am sitting back down to look over what I had come up with for my curriculum, and here's what I have. So we have French, we have PCOS and cycle syncing, watercolor, and sewing. So I try to come up with some, like what that would realistically look like in a week. So for sewing, I want to try to, I'm going to do that Learn to Sew series. There's 6 videos, so I'm going to try and do 1 video per week. So my semester is about 12 weeks. So, if I get behind, there's room to go back. Or if I finish it all, then I can figure something else out to do along with it. And then also I want to select my project in the first week and get whatever materials I'll need for it and see if I can start working on it yet, or if I want to go through the series first and then start working on it. So that's my plan for sewing. Pretty chill, not a whole lot to it. For watercolor, I have that book I want to complete, and so I want to try 2 times a week to work on painting in some form, whether it's working on those daily painting projects or finding something on Pinterest to recreate. But I want to shoot for like 2 times a week that I'm doing that. For the PCOS cycle syncing, my main goal is I want to keep a daily diary of my symptoms and mood during my semester, and then hopefully continue that so I can start to at least I have a 3-month semester, so that'll give me time to like see some patterns maybe, so that would be cool. And then I want to read that book, and then if I finish it, which I need to because it's a library book, so then I can pick a different one for April and maybe another one for May. For French, I haven't really, this one I feel like would be the easiest to make like an actual class, so I need to dive a little bit deeper into what I want to do and what it would look like, but I know that I would like to try and do something every day. I don't know how realistic that will be, but those are my courses, and that's what I'm going to try to do. And this is my first time doing this, so I don't know how it's going to go. This might be too much. It might be not enough. I don't know. So we'll see how it goes. If you want, I can give you updates throughout the month on how it's going. If I do some vlogs, then I probably will in those anyways. So anyways, thank you for watching. And if you're doing any kind of personal curriculum, I would love to hear about it in the comments. And I'll see you in the next video.